Missouri State Highway Patrol officer has pleaded guilty to misdemeanor for his role in the drowning death of a Clive man.
You'll remember Brandon Ellingson drowned at the Lake of the Ozarks in 2014. Trooper Anthony Piercy was accused of using an improper life jacket on Ellingson and improperly handcuffing him when he took him into custody for drunken boating. Ellingson fell from the boat and drowned. Piercy was set to go on trial next month on manslaughter charges. Today, he reached a plea deal. Piercy pleaded guilty to negligent operation of a vessel. He faces a maximum of 6 months in jail. A judge will sentence him on September 8th. The state of Missouri settled a lawsuit over the drowning death in November for $9 million. The state faces another civil suit from a former sergeant who blew the whistle on what he called a cover-up.
The Iowa
story you will only see here. A man facing
Cop gets off with boating violation for handcuffing college kid and watching him drown. Even after claiming he was responsible for the boy's death by watching him drown, this cop is getting off with a slap on the wrist citation. Versailles, Missouri. Nearly 2 years after Trooper Anthony Piercy was charged in the death of Brandon Ellingson, who drowned in the Lake of the Ozarks with his hands cuffed behind his back, the case has been closed. Predictably, the offending officer is getting off with less than a slap on the wrist. For handcuffing a college student, negligently casting him into a lake, and watching as he drowned, Trooper Piercy pleaded guilty to a simple boating violation. On May 31, 2014, Trooper Piercy arrested Ellingson under suspicion of OWI and negligently placed the wrong life jacket over the handcuffed 20-year-old's torso. Piercy then drove his patrol boat away from the scene at a high rate of speed. Ellingson was thrown from the craft when it struck a sizable wake, the life jacket came off, and he drowned with his hands still in cuffs while Piercy callously watched on. "He's an evil person," Ellingson's father Craig told the Daily Beast on Wednesday. "The reason we decided to go to the plea deal was it was tainted down there, in Morgan County, Missouri's court system. During the investigation, it was determined that Piercy did little to nothing as he watched Ellingson drown." As the Beast reports, Piercy did not jump in to save him. "When a bachelorette party passed on a nearby boat, the passengers threw Ellingson a life ring, but they didn't know my son was handcuffed," Craig said. Piercy didn't say he was handcuffed. The women told investigators that they screamed at Piercy to extend a pole to Ellingson, which he did, but he knew he was handcuffed, Craig said. Piercy did not call a supervisor for help until an hour after Ellingson drowned. Footage from his boat shows Piercy having a chillingly casual conversation with his colleague, referring to Ellingson in profane terms. "I'm banged up a little bit, but I'm all right. I don't know if I'm sore from treading water with the bastard," Piercy told a supervisor of the dead 20-year-old. As the Free Thought Project previously reported, following the familiar full court press to prevent officer accountability, the jury in a coroner's inquest ruled Ellingson's death to be accidental. It was subsequently revealed that Amanda Grellner, the prosecutor who declined to file charges against Piercy, had received a personal favor from the MHP 3 years earlier when the department declined to charge her then 18-year-old son with DUI. Read more. "Well, that's embarrassing." Citizen photographs cop as he watches porn in his patrol car. Last September, a circuit court judge found that the state had knowingly and purposefully covered up the crimes of Piercy, violating the state's sunshine law in the act. After seeing that they were getting zero help from the perpetrator and his subsequent conspirators, the family of Ellingson launched a campaign for justice. During this campaign, they were joined by Missouri Highway Patrol Sergeant Randy Henry. Henry witnessed firsthand the incompetence, negligence, and cover-up and took to exposing it. "We killed Brandon Ellingson," Henry bluntly told the Lake Expo newspaper, following it with the question of why are we investigating ourselves. In a conversation with Piercy the day following Ellingson's death, Henry expressed concerns about how the arresting officer had conducted himself. Piercy himself seemed remorseful, telling Henry, "I feel like I drowned that kid. I should have done more for him. In any other context, that comment would be treated as a confession to second-degree murder. Henry then filed a report on the drowning and testified about the inadequate training Piercy and other Water Patrol officers received. During an interview with patrol investigators following the drowning, Henry mentioned a state law dealing with the safety of people in custody and how the police are responsible for the lives of those they detain. An investigator interrupted Henry and insisted that the recorder be turned off, to deliberately prevent an official record of his disclosures. The stiff arm of blue justice moved in, and now we are seeing the results. Instead of Piercy being held accountable for his negligence, it was Henry who was then run through the gamut of the thin blue line. He was cast out by his department, demoted to corporal, and forced to retire. Read more. A federal court just ruled cops can go to wrong house, kill innocent homeowner and walk free. Now, the man responsible for the death of a Star College student is facing a maximum of a $500 fine and 6 months in jail. However, the chances of the officer spending any time behind bars are slim to none. In fact, Piercy has already planned ahead if he gets sentenced to even a single day in jail. As the Beast reports, Piercy's lawyer asked that Piercy be allowed to withdraw his guilty plea, should he be sentenced to more than probation. But after 3 years of fighting his son's case, Craig said the closest thing to justice will be the opportunity to address Piercy during the sentencing. It was probably the best alternative, rather than have him walk free. This way we can sit in front of him and say what we want, Craig said. I'm a Christian. Ultimately, my belief is he'll be judged by God.
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County Cop Watch, and I wanted to explain what fair use is. You can use pieces of news articles if you're doing it for news reporting, you have commentary, and you're doing it for education purposes. So that's what fair use is, as you can see right here. Another reason why I wanted to make this video is to let you know I have just joined with Patreon. A nice thing with Patreon, I make no money on YouTube. They took the money away years ago, and so this is another way to give, and it's a nice thing too because you can give monthly. You can give $1, $5, $10, whatever. I do 4 to 5 hours a day on trying to wake the sheeple up on how corrupt it is and different ways that you can fight the corruption. So Patreon is a way that you can do it, and then of course the old way is still there. Donate to Charlotte County Cop Watch with PayPal or credit card. So keep that in mind. 4 to 5 hours a day. I make no money, but the corruption happened to me and I'm sick of it, so I'm trying to wake people up. But my wife would love it if if we could get some help out there. There's 47,000 subscribers. Just think if each one of you subscribers just gave let's say actually yes, $1 a month. 47,000 subscribers gave $1 a month. That would be awesome. That's not going to happen. But anyways, that would be great if it did happen. But do the math in your head. Just think about it. Like I said, 4 to 5 hours a day. I get no money from YouTube. YouTube has gone nuts. You can't do anything anymore. They're taking the money away everywhere. So these are a couple different ways that you can still help out with all this time that I put in. And as you know, I'm in a special situation where, at least I can do it. 4 to 5 hours a day. We have a cleaning company during the day. That's what allows me to do this, and we're debt-free. So this is my hobby. I don't go fishing and all that other crap. I try to save the world. So help me out to make the wife happy, man. In fact, if you guys did give $1 a day, and there was 47,000 of you, and you did it, and each of you gave $1, and that was every month, oh my God, yes, I could quit. I could start suing them. Another idea too that we have is if I got some funds, we could actually contact everyone that has been ticketed and or arrested and put in jail and start sending them postcards to let them know we're here, and to see if everything went all right, and if it didn't, find out their story. So we could even do more investigations And more lawsuits. Lawsuits take money. So just think about that. You know, 47,000 of you so far right now. You know, $1 a day. I mean, $1 a month on Patreon, or $5 a month Patreon, 10, 20, whatever. Just do the math in your head. Help out. This is a lot of work every single day. Thanks.